Outside validation is a trap. Let's just start there. Every time you seek it, every time you wait for it, every time you adjust yourself to get it, you're handing your power to something that was never meant to have your power in the first place. You are the source of your reality. You are the source of your worth. You are the source of your validation. And until you know that on a level that goes beyond intellectual understanding, you'll keep getting bothered by what people think, what people do, what people say, what shows up or doesn't show up in your 3D reality. Self-validation isn't about pumping yourself up with affirmations. It's not about pretending other people's opinions don't matter while still secretly wanting their approval. It's about something much deeper. It's about knowing who you actually are. And once you know that, validation from outside becomes irrelevant. Doesn't even make sense anymore. And it becomes irrelevant for one reason and one reason only. It stops making sense. The whole concept becomes unnecessary. In this video, I'm going to show you what self-validation actually looks like, why most attempts at it fail, and how to develop it so deeply that nothing in your outer world can bother you anymore. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I help you unlock the power you already have but can't access. I help you break through where years of trying has already failed. And the biggest hurdle of all, I help you go from intellectually knowing the law, which is nice and lovely, but if you don't know how to use it, can be frustrating. So I help you go from intellectually knowing to permanently embodying it, knowing how to use it, knowing how to create your reality. The reason outside validation feels so necessary is also the reason it never actually satisfies you. I'm wondering if you've actually noticed this. Have you sometime in your life actually got the validation you thought you were seeking only to find that it didn't actually satisfy you? It didn't actually give you what you thought it was going to give you? This is such an important place to start and place to contemplate before we go deeper. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, and ponder this within your own experiences. What you need to fundamentally understand is that you're seeking validation from a mirror. The people in your life, the situations you find yourself in, the responses you get from the world, all of that is a reflection of one thing: you. It's all coming from your consciousness, your beliefs, your assumptions, your state of being. So when you seek validation from someone, you're seeking it from your own assumptions. You're asking the mirror to tell you who you are, but the mirror can't tell you anything you don't already believe about yourself. It can only show you what you already claim yourself to be. If you don't believe you're worthy, no amount of someone telling you you're worthy will actually satisfy you. It might feel good for a moment, momentarily, and then a moment later, the doubt creeps back in because the source of the validation isn't real. It's just a reflection of your own consciousness. Now, likewise, if you do believe you're worthy, you don't need anyone to tell you. You already know. The validation from outside, it will be there because, again, it's a mirror, but it's more like, oh, that's nice, but it's not necessary. It's not, I need that to, go on believing that I'm worthy. It's not like that anymore. This is the trap. People spend their whole lives trying to get the mirror to reflect something the mirror can't generate on its own. And then they wonder why nothing ever feels like enough. Why one compliment isn't enough. Why one I love you isn't enough. Why one validation has to be followed by another and another and another. It's because validation from outside is just consciousness reflecting back to you what you already hold inside. So if you don't hold the validation inside first, the outside reflection will never truly satisfy. You can't get from outside what only exists inside. Okay, so if outside validation doesn't work, Well, then what does? Maybe you're asking this question right now. Well, this is the exact question to ask yourself. So glad you asked. Because for any of this to actually be landing for you, you have to know who you actually are. And this is where most people stop because the truth of who you are is bigger than what you've been told about yourself. You are not your circumstances. You are not your relationships. You are not your job. You are not your past. You are not the labels people gave you. You are not even the personality you've identified with. Underneath all of it, you are one thing: pure consciousness, pure awareness, the source cause of everything in your reality. When Neville said, I am, he wasn't talking about your name or your job title or your story. He was talking about the awareness that's behind all of it, the consciousness that observes your thoughts, the presence that's been with you your entire life, watching every single thing unfold. That's who you truly are. And that consciousness is the source of your reality. Every person in your life is there because you're conscious of them. Every situation is happening because your consciousness is creating it. Every emotion you feel is arising in your awareness. Nothing in your reality exists outside of your consciousness. Have you ever experienced anything outside of your consciousness? Who would validate you? Another reflection of your own consciousness? Who would approve of you? You're the one creating them. Who would tell you you're worthy? You're the one who decides what worthiness means in your reality. This isn't ego speaking. This is just the truth of how it works. You are the operant power. You are the one creating. You are the consciousness that everything else is happening within. When you know that, validation from outside becomes like asking your shadow to tell you that you exist. You don't need the shadow to confirm you. You're the one creating the shadow, right? The shift from needing outside validation to self-validating happens when you stop seeing the outside world as separate from you, as something just happening out there independent of you. You'll need to see it for what it truly is, your reflection, the confirmation of what you previously said is true about you. And if you want something new to show up in your reality, you choose that with consistency and confidence, knowing that your reality is always following you. Do not need something outside of you to tell you who you now are. That's yours and yours alone to choose and decide at any moment in time. The mirror can't tell you what you are. It can only confirm what you've previously said you are. Seeking validation from a mirror doesn't make sense. You can't get it from the mirror. The mirror can only confirm what you said previously. This is exactly why people get stuck in loops. They're waiting for out there to tell them, okay, you can shift now and you can claim yourself to be the thing you choose now. They're waiting on that. And it can never actually give you that permission. And waiting on it is actually what keeps you stuck. And that's the only thing keeping you stuck. You have absolute free will. You have absolute dominion over your inner world, your concept of self. But you have to stop making your inner world dependent on the outer world. This is the illusion that you must break free from. This is, of course, the work I do with my one-on-one clients. You've got to have the two pillars of reality creation in place: knowing who you are, the creator of your reality, and your conception of self or your self-concept. And this isn't just about feeling good about yourself through affirmations. We work on shifting their identity from the programmed self to the actual self, from the conditioned identity to the consciousness underneath. And once that shift happens, validation from outside, again, it stops making sense. It's irrelevant, not irrelevant through struggle or trying hard to ignore, but secretly still wanting. No, it's authentic and effortless because they're operating from a level where it only makes sense to source it from within. When you know who you are at this level, things stop bothering you. Not because you've become numb, not because you've turned off your emotions. It's because nothing has the power to threaten you anymore. Someone criticizes you and you see it as a reflection, and simply check within if this is something you still believe or hold to be true right now in this moment. You don't automatically take it on. There's no part of you that needs them to think differently for you to feel okay. Someone rejects you, you see it as a reflection, and you simply check within if this is something you still believe or hold to be true right now. There's no rejection happening outside of you because you're the source. If anyone seemingly rejects you, they're just showing up the way your consciousness previously created them or assumed them to be. Someone leaves, you see it as a reflection, and you simply check within if this is something you still believe or hold to be true. You don't make it mean something about your worth right now. You're not worth less because someone moved out of your reality. Your worth was never theirs to validate. Things in your 3D don't go the way you wanted. You see it as old programming materializing, not as truth about what's possible for you, not as evidence of your worth, just old assumptions playing out. So you stop reacting because you're no longer identified with the part of you that reacts, that is victim. You're operating from the awareness underneath all the reactions. And this is the real peace, not the peace of pretending that nothing matters. That takes effort and willpower eventually runs out. It's the peace of knowing nothing outside of you can actually affect or define who you are at the deepest level. You become unshakable, not because you've built up walls, but because there's nothing to shake. The part that could be shaken and needed the external validation was never really you and is no longer part of your experience. So, how do you actually develop this level of self-validation? Well, it's not a technique. It's a process of remembering who you are. So let's go through some practical steps. Step 1. Recognize the part that wants validation, the part of you. So when you notice yourself wanting approval, wanting to be seen, wanting someone to confirm you, just pause. You don't have to suppress here. You want to see it, right? Remember, I've been saying in videos recently, maybe always, you can't change what you don't see, right? So we want to just notice, okay? Just notice. You don't have to suppress anything. You don't have to run from anything. Just see it. That's the conditioned part, the programming. The wounded younger version of you who learned to look outside, and just seeing it without identifying with it is the first shift. You are not that. You are the one watching that still play out. Step 2, locate the awareness underneath. Drop into the part of you that's observing everything, the presence that's been with you your entire life, the consciousness that's watching this video right now. That's the real you. That is the source. Spend time there. Not analyzing, just resting in that awareness. Step 3, recognize yourself as the source. Look at your life and recognize that everything in it is being generated by your consciousness. The good, the bad, the wanted, the unwanted, all of it. This isn't about blame or judgment. We have to leave all of that out, you guys. I'm going to keep saying that for forever because so many of you are so hard on yourself, and that is counterproductive. So this isn't about blame, not about judgment. It's about power, your power. If your consciousness is creating it, your consciousness can change it, whatever it is. You are the source, the cause, the operant power. Step 4, live from that recognition. When validation comes from outside, receive it, but recognize what you're doing, right? You don't depend on it. You can enjoy it. You can recognize it. It's fine. You also don't have to push it away. Just recognize the truth. Understand it is a reflection. Understand it is a reflection of what you've already assumed within. It didn't come on its own accord because nothing does. Likewise, when outside validation doesn't come, notice that nothing actually has changed about who you are. When something happens in your 3D reality, recognize it as a reflection of consciousness, not as a verdict on your worth, right? You are the only one that has the say of your worth. When someone treats you in a way you don't like, see it as information about your previous state and programming. It's not as truth about your value right now. So you start to live from the level of source. You practice from the level of consciousness, from the level of I am the one creating all of it. And from that level, validation from outside becomes a flavor in your experience, but not the foundation of your worth, not the basis of your worth. When you self-validate from the level of pure consciousness, nothing can shake you anymore. People can love you or leave you. Situations can go your way or fall apart. The 3D can match what you want or not. Your worth doesn't change. Your sense of self doesn't change. You don't change because the source doesn't depend on the reflection. And this is true freedom, real freedom, the kind of freedom that finally allows you to create reality consciously without staying stuck in old patterns, without seeking external validation. Seeking external validation is a trap, like I said in the very opening line, that keeps you stuck in old loops. And when you break out of this trap, this is what makes conscious manifestation actually work. When you're not creating from need, when you're not creating to prove your worth, when you're not creating to fill a void, you can finally create from your true nature, from source, from a place where everything you want already exists. So you stop chasing and you start choosing. You stop seeking validation and you start being and remembering you are the source of your validation. If you want my help getting to this level so that you can finally use the power you were literally born with, that's the work I'm most passionate about doing with my clients. There's nothing more rewarding than watching them shed the layers, keeping them stuck, and empowering them to create in every area of their life. If you want that kind of support, there's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. You can click the link to book a free call with me. We'll talk it out, see if we're a good fit to work together. And yeah, I would love nothing more than to help you get back in touch with your true power. Thank you all so much for being here, for watching till the end. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.